Welcome to the Old Warlock Podcast.
I'm Alexander.
I'm Jim.
I know it's been a while, but we're back.
Back bringing you a lot of nonsense, really, as is evidenced by our accompanying choir.
A lot of important information.
That you won't be able to do anything with.
But I think this is good. It's setting the mood
It is. I think
for the rest of what we're about to do.
I think we're looking at a calmer podcast this time. Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
I feel like I'm in an episode of Endeavor.
you know what? You're right.
Like the opening credit scene.
I think that's exactly what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we are definitely on par
Absolutely.
with the production value of Endeavor.
Yeah.
For those of you who have not watched Endeavor,
You should.
you really need to.
Fantastic television show.
I was a big fan of the show that this is the precursor of, that Endeavor is the precursor of, called Morse.
Inspector Morse.
Inspector Morse, sorry. Yes, Inspector Morse.
And they made a prequel recently.
Which is called
Endeavor. It's very good.
You need to watch it. It has nothing whatsoever to do with gaming or Dungeons and Dragons,
No.
but it's awesome.
But if you like good quality entertainment, this is the show for you.
It's the show that you need to watch.
Yeah.
It's an intellectual experience to watch it, really.
It's what we tell ourselves.
We have to take what we can.
It's a murder mystery show, and we can never solve them before the show's over.
No.
We always try.
No.
Fail.
And you know, the thing about Endeavor is that it seems to me there are an awful lot of murders in Oxford, England.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a while, and I don't remember there being that many murders.
Do you remember any?
No.
It's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe there were murders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember them
Mm-hmm.
because I have some sort of a mental block.
Yeah, it's like trauma burying, or whatever it's called.
Or maybe I was the murderer.
Who knows?
That could be an RPG.
Could.
I mean, I don't mean rocket propelled grenade. I mean role-playing game. I think that could be. You have to try and figure out if you were involved in a murder or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Are we about done with this?
So for
this
those two of you who are still listening at this point,
we're back to that, aren't we? So here we are. Welcome back to the Old Warlock Podcast.
welcome back. I'm Alex.
I'm Jim, and
We know it's been a while, but
it has. It has been a while.
gosh darn it, we're back.
We are.
We wanted to give the people what they want, and what you guys want is obviously to hear more from us.
Well, I don't know if it's that obvious.
It is to me.
You're just hopeful. You're not. It's not obvious. You're
No,
just
that's
hopeful.
what I tell myself every day.
I get it.
My purpose in life is to educate the public on my opinions.
Yeah, okay.
They need to know.
Yeah, they're just clamoring for that, I hear.
Yeah, aren't you?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
What's Alexander have to say? Got to tune him in.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got
One.
a copyright claim. What?
Copyright claim on what?
Second on episode 2.
That's probably
Old
Envelope
Warlock.
Crumb. Well, no, I think we knew that, but they said.
Oh yeah,
they said
I
go
forgot.
ahead.
I forgot.
And,
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to make any money off this, so we'll let you put it out there.
Speaking of that, I texted you this. Was this today? Or was this yesterday? I was walking to class yesterday
At the university.
At the university, yeah. It's a history of the British Empire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I was listening to Anvil of Crom as I was walking.
Yes, that was 2 days ago.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago, and it dawned on me.
Just what a geek you really are.
It really hit me as I was walking. I'm like, wow. If anyone stops to ask me what I'm listening to right now,
You really, yeah. Are you going to want to show them that?
it's like, Green Day. Kanye West.
I'm listening to the news.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fill myself
BBC
in.
World Service,
That's
man.
right. I'm not listening to Anvil of Crom and imagining that I'm in a D&D
Conan the
game.
Barbarian, yeah.
That's not happening. Well, what else has been happening here?
Well, we've been gone a while.
We have not been here for a number of different reasons.
We have. And let me tell you, it's It's making me mad. Our YouTube analytics are not.
They've kind of tanked.
They've kind of tanked.
They have tanked.
Turns out, that when we don't do anything,
if you don't post content,
you guys come and pay attention to what we do less.
And
who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thought
that if we
us.
don't have content that nobody listens to or watches you?
Yeah. So that's a tough lesson that we've been learning.
Trying to get back on that.
Yeah. So we should be. I wrote out that one pager of, it's the memo for the Old Warlock company.
Yes. Here's what we need to be doing.
Of like, we've got our steps that we're going to take to move forward. So we're hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, there should be some return to normalcy and your regularly scheduled programming, which is, I don't know, 2 videos a month that you people keep coming back for God knows why.
Who knows why? I don't know why. I think a lot of people come back just to mock us.
To make fun of us in the comments. Right. We have been receiving some comments lately that are not positive ones.
There are a couple where people were being kind of snarky, but
it's I just think it's interesting. We stop posting things and then
suddenly we get snarky comments.
You guys suck.
Well, I think it's because people are so disappointed that we're not publishing. That
Tell their friends.
They take their anger out in their comments. They're
exactly.
Like, they're not publishing.
You guys are wrong. Which, newsflash, we're never wrong.
Did you hear those crickets? I try and get them on the soundboard, but I can't find the crickets fast enough.
We've done the soundboard to death now. There's no really.
No, we have not done the soundboard to death. We really haven't. There's a lot more life left.
There's a lot more damage to be done.
That's exactly right.
Is your lock screen the Gilligan's Island image or something?
No. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that real quick. Lock screen.
Right. That's right. I'm 21 years old, and I watched Gilligan's Island, for those of you who are wondering.
I'm 58 years old, and I watch Gilligan's Island. So.
No, but
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
For me, it's okay, because I'm a crazy old man, and
I'm the hip youth.
No, this is actually really interesting. It's interesting to me. It's probably not interesting to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, if I could show you this,
and
I will throw this up maybe on the video if I get the chance. This is actually a poster that I had in my room when I was in grade school.
Really?
And I found it the other day. The reason I found it, and this is kind of tangential to what we do here.
Kind of?
It is. It really is. I'm not making that up. I didn't make that word up either. It's a cool word.
Yeah, good word. Good job.
I don't know what it means, but it's a cool word.
Whew. Education.
But I was looking at some old copies of a British RPG magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they had an artist who was doing all these fantasy drawings of landscapes and things like that. And they were kind of highlighting those. And I looked at it and I thought, God, that style of that particular artist looks really familiar. And so I got into, I started looking into it, and then I thought, suddenly it hit me, wait a minute, I had a poster in that same artistic style back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was a big poster that I had on my, even back in grade school, I was kind of a fantasy science fiction nut. And I picked up this poster at like Kmart or something in their big poster bin.
Yeah.
And I lost track of the thing, probably in junior high or maybe even high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to get the name of the artist out of this British RPG magazine from the late 70s, I believe, maybe early 80s. And then I looked up all of his works online and found this poster and found an image that I could download. And this poster is the one that I had in my room when I was in grade school.
That's pretty cool.
It was. I was really pleased to find it.
That's neat.
It's the little things,
Yeah.
But no, I really like this artist a lot. I will try and put the image up. And if I could remember the man's name, I would also mention that. But right now, I can't
you can
remember.
Google that and throw it up at the same time.
I will do that.
His name is.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if nothing came up, sorry.
Yeah, sorry guys, I couldn't find the name. No, but I do know who the person is. It's just that I haven't had any caffeine here this afternoon, so I can't remember it. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's what that is. It's not Gilligan's Island. It is a fantasy landscape by a very popular fantasy artist from the time. Also used to do a lot of album covers for LPs and things. That's for LPs. That's a long play. For those of you who don't know what records are.
I'm going to be honest. The people who listen to this probably know what records are.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, guys, it's from an LP. It's a guy who used to do album covers for LPs.
Speaking of artists.
Yeah. Oh, no. Where's this going?
Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found it. Okay, so we are the Old Warlock Facebook. Well, actually, I think it's just me. I'm not sure. I'm a member of a Facebook group called Old School Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
And the weekend that we are recording this is the weekend of GaryCon, which
makes me mad.
We are not at, unfortunately, for the variety of reasons. But we're not there.
We had planned to be there. We were so wanting to go this year, but
next year we will be there. We are going to be at GaryCon. We are going to be at Gen Con, and
maybe not Gen Con.
I'll go.
All right.
Okay, we'll go to GaryCon, and then we'll go to Denver Comic Con or something.
Well, keep going because we have something else to talk about there.
But this is the image that was shared in there. Larry Elmore is the name.
Right.
Larry Elmore and Jeff Easley are both at GaryCon. And I saw that yesterday, just as I was sitting in my apartment. This came up, and it crushed my heart
that I to be there.
Am not going to be in, the place where we belong.
We should be
with our people.
Exactly.
Yeah. But hey, you know what? It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, it just kind of makes me mad sometimes when that cookie crumbles the wrong way. What else? We're gonna go play
D&D tomorrow.
D&D with Bill tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be a fun Saturday night.
I had a discussion with Bill the other day about he's really concerned about what I'm doing with my campaign, the changes I'm making.
Okay, so we can start with that, and then we've got something else to talk about.
Well, go ahead. Go. What did you want to talk about?
Okay, so I'm just going to kind of fill you in on the dynamic of how all of this works with the people we play D&D with.
That you play D&D with, or that we played with.
That we play D&D with.
Okay.
One of some of his high school friends and his elementary school friends.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Him.
Him is me.
Him is that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go and play with them, and then they have another group that they play with where they oftentimes play 5th edition.
Wait. Go ahead. Keep talking.
So they often play, the edition of the game that we do not necessarily enjoy. And this makes, Jim over here pretty darn angry.
That he plays with them rather than with us.
Yeah, especially when he texts them and he's like, hey, let's play some Dungeons & Dragons. They're like, no, sorry, we're playing with our 5th edition group tonight.
We're with our 5th edition friends.
Yeah, and so he gives them a lot of grief for that. But this guy, Jim, again, recently retired, has started playing Dungeons & Dragons on the weekdays with...
I see now where this is.
With Bill, who is also retired.
It's a great setup.
Yeah, they just start playing. I'll be in the university town where I live for weeks at a time, and I'll come back and find out. Oh, guess who's been playing D&D without me? Your son, your firstborn son. Hurts me. That's the emptiness of my heart when I hear about these things.
That's exactly right. That's what I was trying to.
Yeah, so I just, there's a little bit of hypocrisy there that I feel needed to be addressed in front of the public.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, what's the thing? Huh?
Well, the thing is,
what are you going to tell me?
Am I supposed to, as a newly retired person, am I supposed to just not do anything related to gaming because you might be upset? I know what you're going to say.
Yes, obviously.
Look, okay, fine.
But then I will say when this was brought up to Bill, just kind of said it sucks to be him type thing because Bill's son, who's a few years older than me, had this very similar reaction.
Had the same reaction. You're
to
doing
what I
what?
Did. Yeah, it's upsetting. It's like being cheated on.
Look. We're not even playing characters. I'm not even playing a character that you are associated with. I started a brand new anti-paladin.
Yeah, that doesn't sound exciting. That doesn't sound cool, playing an evil paladin.
Hey, let's talk about this new dice tower. Oh, gosh.
No, you had something else you were going to say.
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot what it was.
See what happens. Something about Bill. Something about We're going to play D&D tomorrow.
Oh yes, he's concerned about what I'm doing on my campaign.
Ah, yes. Big overhaul taking place.
Big overhaul taking place in my campaign. We've gotten into some areas that I'm not happy with over the past year or so. Well, the past couple of years, really. So yeah, kind of a major shift in the availability of magic. Some shifts in the way that the magic user and cleric classes function.
You've had issues with that for years, though.
That I've had a lot of problem with over the years, and I've never come up with a system that I was comfortable with, one that really played it the way I thought it should be played. So
yeah,
but he expressed concern about when I said, yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes, and he said, well, at the risk of sounding a little bit full of myself, Bill likes to play in my world, and
we all like to play in his world.
Yeah,
it's a good world to play in.
Well, thank you. It's very kind of you. You're glaring at me. What you're trying to tell me is, don't play it without me. That's
what I'm trying to tell you is get it together.
Okay,
Captain retired over here. You got plenty of time to sit in front of the computer and work on this world so I can get back in there. I got things I want to do.
I know there's things that your characters want to get out there and do. But I want, when you start exploring again, I want to make sure that I've got everything set up the way I want it.
Yeah. Just the clock's ticking, Yeah,
I know. I've only got a few years left before it's all over for me. Jeez.
That's not where I was going, but I mean,
that's
okay.
what you were saying. That's what, golly. Anyway, yeah. So he did show some concern, but I think he's okay with some of the plans that I've got. And
well, I mean, we've all, because of your leniency that's grown for the past few years.
I've mellowed as a DM, and I need to get off on that.
You mellowed because I started playing. I was
right,
12.
Right. I was playing with kids, and I didn't want to. Yeah,
didn't want to murder us.
But now that you guys are older and have thick skin, it's time for you to be killed. Basically,
yeah. My heart doesn't break easily now. I'm fine.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna cry.
So yeah, that's kind of one of the things that's happening. That was what I wanted to refer to.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good times. It'll be
interesting.
It's going to be interesting. If my character dies, I've had one main character in his world since I was 12 years old, and I'm almost 22 now. So it's going to be coming up on a decade of me playing the same character. And if first session out, he's killed by something,
I don't know what to tell you.
I'll fire up the podcast and just start crying, and then we'll just watch a compilation video of my tears. As I cope with the grief of losing my, alter ego.
Well, you might also want to consider firing up a second character.
Well, yeah, I've wanted to do that. I did do that, and he got killed.
Yeah, I've killed a couple of your other characters.
Yeah.
But you need to, consider.
You need to branch out.
Yeah, you need to fire up another character and have them do an entirely different set of things.
Yeah, which I want to do. I want to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot more to explore, and I've just added some detail into some areas that, well, I mean, you guys have only touched on maybe 10% of my world. And
if that. We spent most of our time in like 3 spots.
Yeah, basically
3 countries, basically,
just the West
with
Coast
a few excursions of going elsewhere.
But I'm not going to force you to, but I'm hoping that you guys, decide it's time to go out and explore.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
There's still a lot to explore in the area that you're in, but there's an awful lot of other. There's interesting environments outside.
There's places I'd like to go back to and do other things, but yeah.
Where were we headed with this?
No, I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Zachary he's finishing up some artwork, and we're going to be making that available on Spreadshirt, on some shirts.
Yes, we are going to expand the Spreadshirt variety. For those of you who do not know what Spreadshirt is or have not visited the page, the links will be available in the description of wherever you're listening to this or watching this.
And what he's going to do, I've got him actually doing some takeoffs on some of the original D&D artwork.
Yeah.
So things out of the Player's Handbook, out of the original AD&D DM's Guide. He's doing his own versions of some of those, and I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with.
Yeah.
But along those same lines, for those of you who, for the 2 of you who do follow the podcast.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Welcome back. We have made the decision to start posting the podcast videos on the actual YouTube channel. We thought we had a great idea, and it was just stupid, basically.
I think that really what we thought is that we were more popular than we were. We were like, oh,
we thought we had 4 people following us. And
exactly. You know, you hear these things of social media people making different YouTube channels for different things, but at the time we had like 900 people.
Yeah. And so we thought, well, maybe we should have on 2 separate things so people don't get confused. Well, what happened was people got confused.
People got confused anyway, and it just,
it was just
now
dumb.
we're splitting our ad revenue.
Yeah, all 8 cents of it.
All 8 cents into 2 locations. So,
but I think just really it's for the convenience of people who are, again, for whatever reason, enjoying what we do. We're going to put the podcast videos on the regular channel.
The Old Warlock YouTube channel, which is the black background with the white wizard on it. Yes. Not the inversion of that, but that.
Right, because that's the podcast YouTube channel if you're on that one.
Yeah.
But I think we should probably just shut down the podcast.
Yeah, we might just do that. We'll repost the videos so you guys can still watch them or watch them again or whatever else, and then
because I'm sure people are watching those over and over.
Yeah, and it's not just me making fake accounts and hitting replay on an iPad.
You too?
To Google, that was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
I am kidding. I do not do that.
Would never do that.
Please don't shut down our channel.
No. God, now you've done it.
Yeah, I know. You're going to get flagged.
Exactly. So in this, moving on, we're going to do another one of our monster investigations. Oh, looks like you got down the Fiend folio for this one.
Yeah, I'm feeling fiendish today.
Yeah, nice. Nicely done. I'm going to also be looking at a couple of magic items.
Yeah.
But one of the other things, before we get there, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, we have a follower by the name of Eric Johansson.
That we do.
And he is from Sweden. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
And he is actually an original Dungeons & Dragons player.
From back in the day.
Playing OD&D. He's playing the original, the 3, the original things that TSR came out with that were prior to Basic and then prior to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. He plays that game still, and I didn't really... I started doing some research because what he did was he sent me his notes. Now, what he did was he's been playing this for a long time, and what he did was he sent me the house rules that he has.
The kind of compiled version.
Compiled house rules version of the way he runs his game. And this is really good. I've really enjoyed reading through this. And what it did, one of the things I really enjoyed about it as well is that it made me go back in order to get the full impact of what he had put together. I actually went back and got out my original ODD books.
Yeah.
And I also it got me to thinking, well, how big is the community that actually is out there playing ODD? And there are a lot of folks. This is what they play.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean,
not Eric's campaign, but
the original
Dungeons and Dragons. There are a lot of people that are out there playing that. And when I went through it, and I probably should have gotten my books out prior to us starting the podcast video.
I mean, they're right there. You want me to grab them?
It's all right. If I need to, you can go up and grab it. But what really struck me about original Dungeons and Dragons, as I reread the rules, I've read them many times over the years.
Yeah.
What really struck me is what a great, simple, story-driven, dungeon master-centric game it is.
Yeah.
It's to me, as I read through it, and I need to do some more research in it because I like doing that kind of thing anyway. But to me, as I went through it, if you want to just sit down and you want to be playing a game where you're telling a story, OD&D is really
that's the way to do
it. It is definitely there. And the way that the hit points work and the way combat works, a lot of those different things. There are some complicated weirdness things about it because I don't think that Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson really had it. Excuse me. Really had it,
refined,
hammered down to where they needed to.
Yeah.
And you're filling in the answer at the end of my sentences again. You realize that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, but you're going to keep doing it because that's what you do.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I don't think they had it really hammered out or refined down to where it needed to be. But what was left to me was just, it's really just an excellent, simple game that, again, relies a lot on the dungeon master to be making decisions about what's happening or how a situation should be resolved. There's not a rule for every last thing. It's really just, here's a really loose framework, guys. Now go and have fun with it.
Which, to be honest, is pretty close to what we do a lot of the time.
I think that's why this, going back over that, appealed to me so much.
Yeah. I mean, we do use the specific rules from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but
I was very few.
The core rule books with the core of those core
right
are the things that we use. Things like, class and race and stuff like that.
Mostly player's handbook stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's our most used thing, aside from monsters when we need them.
But anyway, that's where my thought has been here, and then going out online and finding out that there are forums put together for original D&D players, and there's actually a lot of content out there for original D&D, which is to me is really cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
But I went through reading through Eric's booklet here, and it's really well done. He's got some really cool artwork that he had a friend of his do. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep.
It had some great artwork that a friend of his did for the booklet, and I'm assuming that it's one of the people that plays with him. But I just wanted to touch on a couple of things. That there were some things that Eric put together as being important to a game, and to me they're not just Zero Edition specific. I think that they're applicable to any role-playing game that you're actually getting into, and I'll read those in a minute.
Okay.
But just a couple of the things that I really liked out of his booklet. And I believe that you can actually buy this if you're so inclined. I will get in touch with Eric and find out if he's got it available on Amazon Books or something like that.
Yeah, and if it is, we'll put a link.
Yeah, we'll put a link to it so that you can get to it. But he's got some interesting things here. And he's actually made things, in some ways, it seems as though he's made things a little more simple, even more simple than the original D&D. I love the way he describes his campaign. The campaign takes place in a gritty and brutal world of sword and sorcery. Most would-be empires have already risen and fallen. Self-proclaimed kings and queens barely hold on to their domains. The frontier is full of warlords and tribes who all claim ownership over vaguely defined plots of land. Borders are constantly shifting, and law is barely being upheld in areas around large population centers. The player characters are all assumed to be human. Mythic things such as elves and halflings do not exist. Dwarves are gray-skinned, black-bearded, white-eyed, chaotic humanoids that fight fiercely to stave off the human encroachment upon their domains beneath the mountains. Prehistoric lizards roam the wilderness. The frontier is dotted with crumbling temples, caves, castles, and dungeons long abandoned by prior civilizations. These are frightening places now dominated by chaotic humanoids, mutants, supernatural beings, and the undead. On the other hand, they are also full of ancient magics, artifacts.
That's
sorry,
not in there.
That's okay. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Our
the speaker turned off.
Soundboard just went off.
Yeah.
These are frightful places now dominated by chaotic humanoids, mutants, supernatural beings, and the undead. On the other hand, they are also full of ancient artifacts, magic, and treasures just waiting to be claimed by anyone brave enough. He's really narrowed this down.
Yeah, it's a specific kind of world building.
It is. He has defined exactly what the world is going to be like, and from the outset, you know kind of what you're getting into.
I think that's cool.
I like this, and my knowledge of Nordic mythology is okay, but I'm wondering if there's some reflection here in this campaign of Nordic mythology that Eric would be, much more familiar with.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're not stereotyping you, Eric, here with this, but
well, the only reason I'm saying it is that basically it comes down to humans and dwarves.
Yeah,
and so that to me was something that I need to talk to him about, that if that's where he got the inspiration from.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, it sounds like it could be something that's a possibility, but I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just curious. But anyway, it was interesting that I like the way that he defined his world in just that one paragraph or two paragraphs.
You know exactly what you're getting going into it. Yeah,
that is exactly right. Another thing that he has in here, he talks about hero status, and I am right on board with this. He talks about no player character starts as a hero, even though that might be the intent. A newly created character only has about a year of experience. If the character survives long enough to become fourth level, that character is considered a true hero. This should be reflected in the campaign world. From this point on, from fourth level on, the character will be treated with more reverence, and stories will often be told about the character's deeds. The hero will be sought out to perform dangerous quests. I'm getting a Beowulf thing going on here, and again, I'm probably stereotyping. The hero will be sought out to perform dangerous quests instead of having to look for work. Keep in mind that being a hero also draws the attention of villains and other agents of chaos. Mm-hmm. Again, really nice description of the way he expects his campaign to run. And go ahead.
And I mean, that's how you run your kind of stuff too.
That's it. That's why I like it so much.
You really are nobody until you're fourth level. And even then, you're just kind of a somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you're not the guy. You're not the man. You're just a person.
Right.
Who has done some cool stuff.
There's a couple of other things here, but there are 3 passages here. I think it's maybe just 2, and I've got 2 stickers on the same thing. Really, it's just 2. 2 of the things that really jumped out at me from this book, and I think that this is something that should be almost, we talked on one of our most recent videos about a DM seminar that someone was putting on back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And this to me is something that should be in that type of presentation or that type of education for a DM. Mm-hmm. It's about time and wandering creatures. And I just want to read this one paragraph out of this because Eric really nailed this. He says, if time is not taken into consideration, there is no reason why the characters can't inspect every small detail on every object in every location.
Yeah.
Play would then slow to a crawl while every minuscule detail consumes a large amount of time to make sure that nothing of value is missed. And I've been in this situation. Without time, or without the monitoring of time, there is less incentive to make good decisions. If an attempt fails, the character could try and try again until they succeed. This often happens.
Which we have done.
That's right.
Yeah.
The management of light sources and food also lose their purpose without the passage of time. Many of the inherent challenges of the game would be lost without such details. Any feeling of dread is removed when the players can spend an infinite amount of time in every location without ramifications. The dungeon would then become more of a playhouse, and that should be avoided.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent concepts here. He goes into some details about how you can do some suggestions as to how you can divide this up and how you can make a working time tracking system work. Mm-hmm. And I'll skip over that because if you're interested, buy the booklet.
Yeah.
But there's another section in here on this same subject. I have found that letting the players roll for wandering creatures makes them even more tense because he gets into this about, you need, as you're going through a situation, as your player characters are going through a situation, you've got to have that constant possibility.
Yeah.
Something's behind
something
you.
Something
could get you. And that could be outdoors. That could be in a dungeon. That could be anywhere.
Yeah.
But he says the players can, I have found that letting the players roll for wandering creatures makes them even more tense. I'm starting that. That's something I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
The feeling of danger becomes more immediate to the players when every wasted turn can force them to roll for wandering creatures. In other words, if you're down there trying to inspect every last thing in the room, there's that many more chances that you're going to have something that's going to come in and try and rip your throat out.
Yeah.
So the enjoyment of the game master is also enhanced when the incentive to fudge the roll is absent. So if it's taken out of the DM's hands and put into the hands of the players,
you get what you get, and you got to live with it.
Wandering creatures summoned by the GM would remove tension for both the game master and the players. A roll is required to maintain this tension.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a good rule because then you've got you roll 28. What does that mean? And then kind of everyone looks at the DM expectantly, and fearfully.
Right.
Is it a porcupine or is it a dragon?
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes on to describe just a little bit more. The GM is then responsible, of course, for describing the events based on the results. Maybe the creatures stumble upon the characters. Maybe the characters hear the sound of something approaching. Maybe the characters are ambushed. Maybe the characters have lookouts that can alert them of incoming danger. Mm-hmm. Again, it's all about forcing play.
Yeah.
You have to be playing the role in order to make sure that that wandering monster is not going to damage the party. You've got to set a watch. You've got to make sure there are people keeping lookout.
It's just taking that extra care.
It is.
To, build that sense of, while they're orcs and orcs aren't real, to build a sense of realism.
Right. It's forcing, I think, the whole concept of the wandering monster and that time element.
Yeah.
It really creates a get in, get out attitude toward things. Which again creates a level of tension, which creates that much more of an immersion because it's scary.
And at the same time, you are going to miss things, but that gives you incentives. Go back if you want to go back and brave the depths of whatever it was.
Yes, maybe there's a clue about something that's bigger and better that you could have had, but it's time to get out.
Because you're out of torches, you're out of food, or whatever.
But then one of the other things, and then I'll leave Eric's book behind, and if you're interested in reading more on it, I'll try and find out where this is available to you. He has an excellent section here on theater of the mind.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And again, this is something that every beginning DM should be looking at doing, or becoming familiar with. Theater of the mind. I'm going to read this. During play, the characters are regularly going on expeditions into dangerous areas such as abandoned temples, castles, caves, and dungeons. When this happens, we go into more detail as compared to when characters are traveling in the wilderness. It is wise to keep descriptions short and to the point while at the same time conveying as much of the mood as possible for the given area. This way, we maintain a good flow. If the characters travel down a corridor, don't give them the exact dimension and distance to every feature. Doing this risks wasting time on information that would serve no other purpose than to crowd your narration with needless numbers. Numbers don't contribute much to the mood. One efficient way to do this is by giving an overview of an area and then counting distance only as it is being traversed by the characters. There was a section down here. Hang on. That continues on with this. It's the example of play, and I really like the way he does this.
Yeah.
So Dungeon Master. This is interaction between the Dungeon Master and the players. He calls it a Game Master, a GM. The stairs turn okay, so they're going through a dungeon. The stairs turn east before coming to an end in a corridor which goes further into the darkness. The floor glimmers in the torchlight from moisture, and the air is warm and damp. The walls are made from roughly cut stone blocks, and the ceiling has a slight arch. The sconces have been pulled from the walls long ago, leaving the area in complete darkness. You can feel a pungent smell of mold. I love that. You feel a pungent smell of mold. Player, can we see anything further down the corridor? Game Master, it goes further than the light from your torch. Player, we follow the corridor carefully. I am holding my torch in front of us, and Roy is tapping the floor with a wooden pole as we move forward.
The famous 10-foot pole.
That's exactly right. Game Master, you move down the corridor. Eerie shadows dance along the walls as the light from your torch pushes back the darkness. You walk slowly, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 feet down the passage. You are now in a four-way junction. Player, we look down each passage. What can we see? The passage to your left goes a short distance before it comes to a corner and continues to the right. The passage in front of you goes straight forward into the darkness. When you look down the passage to your right, you can see a wooden door on the left wall. The passage continues further. Player, how far away is the door? Game Master, the door is just at the edge of the light from your torch. So a lot of this is not 20 feet away.
Yeah.
It's 15 feet away. It's 30. No. And in my mind's eye, if somebody tells me the door is just at the edge of the light from your torch, I'm thinking in my mind, I'm seeing that in my mind, as opposed to looking at a
sheet of graph paper.
A sheet of graph paper and marking it out on the map.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it the point of this is it's an imagination-based game, and describing things strictly within the confines of what the graph paper can show you, I think, takes away from that, because
I agree.
Then you're seeing it just as that. You're not building it in your mind. But with these descriptors of, it's just at the edge of the torchlight, or, you can't see the end of things, then I have, there's almost an instinct in my mind that's like, okay, that's bad because I can't see down there or whatever else.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
There's danger down there because I can't see.
There could be because I can't see, yeah.
Right.
So.
But Eric's booklet has a lot of that kind of information on it, a fair bit of that kind of information in it. A lot of it is also just ways that he has altered the OD&D rule system to accommodate his style of play. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed having him send that to us.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Yeah, it was a really fun read, and it made me those last two sections really made me reconsider. Some of the things that we have gotten away from doing.
Yeah,
exactly. We have played that way many times in the past, but you can get lazy.
Yeah, and I think that's
lazy as a player.
I think that's what it is. It's just complacency and not, putting that 100% effort into it on both sides of the DM screen, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
very cool.
Original edition campaign. It's listed by Eric as additional rules for fantasy medieval campaigns playable with dice, paper, pencil, and your imagination.
Imagination.
Well, exactly. Well, and I also like the fact that he did it in this small brown booklet, which matches the original D&D booklets.
So it's a cool thing. So thank you very much, Eric. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And good.
If any of the rest of you, if any of the other listeners have something similar that they would like to let us take a look at, absolutely send it our way.
Yeah, I'm always happy to. I am, I don't think that anybody who has ever watched our stuff or listened to it is going to be going to believe that we are putting ourselves across as experts.
No,
I'm really doing this because I love it when I can read something like this and go, wow, this is a really good idea. I need to add this into my
incorporate it in. Yeah, it's just cool stuff to build other ideas off of.
Right. Yeah, what you're saying.
Yeah. Cool.
So, I think it's time to pick a monster.
All right, let's do it. Today's book that we are going to be using is the Fiend Folio, probably our least used.
I think so. Not because it isn't full of good monsters, but just because we don't use it as much.
This has the weird ones in it. The niche monsters, I would say.
I think so.
Yeah. So we're going to open it up to a random page here.
And we mean weird as in, it's good. It's a good weird.
Exactly.
But it's still a little different. What do you got?
We have on page 51 the Hook Horror.
Oh yeah, I've actually used the Hook Horror.
I've never come across a Hook Horror.
I have used the Hook Horror on a couple of different occasions. I like this monster.
Let's just go through some of the basic things here. Frequency is rare. Number appearing is 2 to 12, which from the get-go sounds a little spooky. Armor class 3, 5 hit dice, which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
It has a low intelligence. It's neutral alignment. We don't use psionics, so that's all that really matters. Large, powerful bipeds. Hook horrors have vulture-like heads and a hard-plated exoskeleton, which is mottled gray in color. They inhabit deep underground corridors and chambers. Their vision is poor. Their hearing is extremely acute. Yada yada yada. There's only a 10% chance of surprising one. The monster's arms end in sharp hook-like talons, which it uses in melee, each inflicting 1 to 8 points of damage. A hook horror cannot speak but communicates with others of its kind by making clacking noises with the exoskeleton, an eerie sound which can alarm the unwary as it echoes around dungeon corridors.
Nice. Yeah, I like the monster. I liked it when I used it. I think that it's a good mid-level monster.
Yeah.
Good damage, good armor class, good hit points, but nothing you can't defeat, but something that could be a danger if you don't
wail on you a little bit.
If you
just be careful.
If you're stupid. Yeah. Anyway,
feel targeted.
Don't know what you're saying. Don't know what you're talking about. So we got now. I think that let's take a look at a magic item.
Let's do it.
So I'm going back to one of my favorite books for D&D. This is a Encyclopedia Magicka, D&D 2nd edition, but I mean it's applicable to pretty much anything, really.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, but I'm going to randomly open. This is volume 3. Volume 3. I'm just flipping through here. Stick my thumb there. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Oh, what's this? Hang on.
The something of strength.
I think it's a ring. Let's see what it says here. This is.
Oh yeah, this is the ring section.
Oh, this is the ring section. This is not a ring of stone. This is a ring of strength, is what it is.
Nice.
So let's take a look at what we've got here. Okay, ring of strength. It can give you a double-aught strength.
Wow.
It can give you a 19 strength. It can give you a 20 strength, or it can be cursed.
Of course it can.
You know which one I'm aiming for.
It's always cursed in your world.
Exactly. This ring, made from the finger bone of a stone giant, gives its wearer exceptional strength. Did you just hit yourself in the face with your microphone?
No, that was my taken aback look
from
the finger bone of a stone giant.
I kind of like the idea, though.
Yeah, it's cool.
Those who wear a ring of strength gain the following strength, depending on which ring they have. So you just roll percent, and you can get either the 18 double-aught, the 19, the 20, or the cursed. Ring of strength may be worn by all classes. A cursed ring has the equivalent strength of 21, but if the wearer is in melee, enemies are seen as friends, and friends are attacked as enemies. I gotta put this bad boy in my campaign.
That's a dangerous.
Gotta put this in there. A ring of strength is not cumulative with other strength-enhancing magical items. And really, the way they've got this set up, roll 1 to 35, it's an 18 double-aught. 36 to 65 is a 19. 66 to 80 is a 20. 81 to 100 is cursed. So there's a strong
darn
chance
good
you're
chance
going
to start beating up on the homies.
But let me just read that one more time. A cursed ring has the equivalent strength of 21, but if the wearer is in melee, enemies are seen as friends, and friends are attacked as enemies.
Wow.
You know I'm going to be having that. I'm going to do another Magicka.
Which one is 21? Is 21 Fire Giant?
I don't know for sure. It's way up there.
Yeah. So you'd be doing some damage on your buddies.
You'd be
on
wailing.
Your pals.
Yeah, you'd be wailing. Okay, another one here. Let's go with this. Whatever it is. This is a sling.
Ooh, a little used item.
It's a bola. Cool.
Bola's the two weights with the line in the middle, right? Okay.
Yeah, each bola. Well, okay. Let's see what this says here. Each bola consists of 3 small jars attached at the ends of 3 4-foot-long cords.
Okay.
So there's 3 of them instead of not just 2, but 3.
Okay.
And yeah, now that I think about it, that does seem right in my head.
Yeah.
The other ends of the cords are knotted together. Each jar contains a different substance, and this is the bola of sunlight. So let's see what this does. Not very valuable. Let's see. Okay, the bolas of sunlight require a full round of preparation and a clear space of at least 5-foot radius around the thrower. The weapon causes no physical damage, but it has a chance of entangling a human-sized target or catching the wings of a very small dragon. Hurling this type of bola requires special skill on the part of the warrior and a minimum strength of 16. An untrained user has a 75% chance of either breaking the jars or being trapped in the cords. Nice. And he or she would attack with a -5 penalty on all attack rolls.
I like it.
The flash of light caused by this causes temporary blindness for 1d4 rounds. This is actually a really nice
intense,
thing.
yeah.
A successful save versus paralysis prevents the target from being blinded. Save at a -5 during the night or in darkness. The flash of light is particularly suitable against creatures of darkness such as shadows or night dragons. The adhesive substance has the effect of revealing invisible or otherwise hard-to-see targets, but causes no damage. Nice.
That's cool.
The substances used in the bolas are extracted from various plants growing on the Isle of Sestia. We have to change that. And are not magical. The bolas do not work underwater, etc., etc. Nice.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of serves with our constant argument that we're making of, hey, swords are fun, but use other weapons.
Yeah, and use weapons that allow you to be creative.
Yeah, to do different stuff.
Yep.
Whether that's a sling or, a bola or a polearm or even a mace, whatever it is.
Yeah, pizza,
throw it hard enough.
That's right. Never know.
No, that's cool, though. I really like that.
Yeah,
that can be used in some interesting ways.
Yeah, very good. But that's all I've got here, I think, for this week's edition. I don't know.
We've gone a little longer than I think we were planning to here.
Did we?
I think we did.
Oh, sorry out there. If you're, of course.
Sorry, listener.
It's that guy that just fell asleep.
Yeah.
It's just now waking up. What?
God,
what time is
still on?
Oh, jeez. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope that you found this of some sort of moderate interest.
Some kind of enjoyment from it, yeah.
Yeah, and if you didn't, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hope everything works out for you.
That's right. I'm Jim.
I'm Alex.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye-bye.